Donald Trump's plan to send his ICE thugs to American airports, but specifically those in big blue cities, was doomed from the start. But that was the point of the plan. This wasn't supposed to be organized. It was supposed to be organized chaos. That is what Donald Trump is after, creating fear, creating conflict. And that is what he got. But apparently, already, it's a little too much for Donald Trump, who is already crumbling and abandoning in part his plan with an attack on ICE that shows even he understands how politically unpopular this move is, as he has never been more politically unpopular. It is already getting violent at airports as the price of a flight explodes because Donald Trump has brought us into an illegal war for Israel and to cover up the Epstein files. Now, if that wasn't enough, this article exposing how Donald Trump is going further and making it difficult for you to get through the airport, I don't know how much worse things could be. Of course, we're going to get into Donald Trump's post as he crumbles, worrying about the TSA, but it starts with the deal he blew up right here. Insiders reveal Trump secretly torpedoed deal to end DHS shutdown chaos. He threatened to go after any Republican who leaves town for recess and repeatedly demanded they attend an Easter dinner with him instead. Donald Trump rejected a deal to end the government shutdown that would have allowed TSA employees to start getting paid again, insiders have revealed. White House aides and Republican Senate colleagues urged the chamber's Majority Leader John Thune to approach Trump with a new proposal on Sunday as he was in the throes of threatening Iran with hellfire before sensationally U-turning on Monday morning. But it appeared Trump was in no mood to take up the offer that Thune said Democrats were willing to rubber stamp, despite the proposal providing a way for TSA workers to start getting their paycheck and travel chaos at airports to subside. Trump reportedly balked at the deal as it contained no recourse to fund ICE, a huge sticking point for him. The agreement would have ended the 37-day government shutdown, causing mayhem in airports across the country. There are about 61,000 TSA employees currently caught in the middle of the fight, and after Trump's reported refusal, Congress remains locked in a stalemate over funding the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees TSA. Even after Thune assured the president that reconciliation could be used to handle ICE funding and deprive Democrats of some of their key demands, Trump shot down the proposal according to Punchbowl sources. Instead, Trump is said to have demanded Republicans stay in Washington and keep up pressure on Democrats to both support DHS funding and the Save America Act, his sweeping GOP bill targeting voter identification and election rules. It's voter suppression. He reportedly vowed to publicly chastise any Senate Republican who dared to leave town for recess, promising them an Easter dinner at the White House that some interpreted as threatening more than hospitable. So Donald Trump deliberately blew up a deal that would have relieved some of the chaos currently happening at airports because that's what he wants. He wants the chaos. He thought it would be good. He thought it would be good this morning when he was asked about why he was sending ICE to airports and is just now backtracked after we have seen these ICE goons turn this into a violent mess. But listen to what Donald Trump first had to say this morning before he came back on his promises.
That's why the Democrats are going crazy, because they've allowed, by what they did, and hold up, we put ICE, who are a very high level, I mean, they really are a high-level group of people, and they love it because they're able to now arrest illegals as they come into the country.
Yes, I'm sure the violent ICE thugs do love it when they get to go and harass people of color without accountability, at least in their eyes and the eyes of Trump and Vance. I'm not surprised that they really love it. But how have things gone at the airport so far, just this morning and last night? Your guess is pretty good. It's not well. I can confirm that ICE is deployed at the Atlanta airport supporting TSA, writes Dave Dana, but they're just standing there. They're not doing anything. The Atlanta airport has a line out the door this morning like most major airports, and Trump is not doing anything to help. Instead, ICE is just creating more chaos by harassing and attacking people in street clothes, meaning I guess anyone else could and just claim that they're ICE.
What is your name? Where's your badge number?
I'm supposed to automatic.
I'm asking for your badge number, sir. What is your badge number?
So I guess anyone who wants to throw on a face mask and a black hoodie can go into an airport and try to arrest or kidnap someone, claim that they're ICE. They don't have to show a badge because ICE never does. And that is the situation that Donald Trump has created at airports. That is the fear that people have who are already probably going to be more unwilling to travel with exploding travel costs. And so what did Donald Trump do seeing this disaster? Well, he immediately backtracked as his plan is crumbling. Trump wrote on Truth Social, quite frankly, I am a big proponent of ICE wearing masks as they search for and are forced to deal with hardened criminals, many of whom were led into the country by sleepy Joe Biden and his wonderful border czar, Kamala. She never even went to the border through their absolutely insane, quite frankly, open border policy. I would greatly appreciate, however, no masks when helping our country out of the Democratic-caused mess at the airports, etc. Thank you, President DJD. So why doesn't Trump want ICE wearing masks at the airport? Well, because of what I just said. Because anyone wearing a mask and black sweats and a black hoodie could go in, rip someone out of a TSA line, rip someone out of baggage. It doesn't matter. Just grab someone, throw them in the back of a van. And now, because Donald Trump says, ICE run wild at the airport, nobody's going to know. ICE does not reveal their law enforcement status. They're not law enforcement. They're fucking thugs. But they don't share badges. They don't give a badge number. They don't give any identification. It is a dangerous, dangerous state that Donald Trump has created at every single airport. But again, specifically those in big blue cities, right? It's Phoenix, it's LA, it's New York, it's Atlanta, it's Detroit, it's Milwaukee, it's Minneapolis. That is what Donald Trump is doing. Very specifically, as he always does, targeting big blue cities and creating chaos, concern, and unrest. People are being dragged out of airports by we don't know who. We don't know who. It could be anyone at this point because ICE does not share their badge number. They don't share anything about their law enforcement status. And so any person could go into an airport and do that. So it is no surprise that Donald Trump is kind of already crumbling on his plan and saying, well, quite frankly, I think maybe they should not wear a mask because what could then happen? People could pretend to be ICE, so that would be bad. Yeah, that's already happening. Let's be very clear. That is already happening. People do pretend to be ICE. They do kidnap people off the street. And regular bystanders don't respond, one, because they're afraid of being killed in the street, because that is what happens when you protect innocent people from ICE harassing and attacking them, and two, because they don't know any better. This is the state that Donald Trump has created in this country. We have just become so numb to it. And that is largely what he is trying to do. But he understands that airports are already a place where people fucking hate to be and are blaming this administration for the problems, creating more chaos there. Yeah, that might not be the best political move at a time in which Donald Trump has never been more unpopular. And again, summer is about to come. People are going to be on vacation. It doesn't, you're going to camp, you're going to visit the in-laws, you're going to the beach. Everyone is going to be traveling soon. Spring, Easter's coming up, and Donald Trump has just exploded the cost of everything. There are airliners saying that a barrel of oil could go up to $180, $200, that this could be, even if Donald Trump, who is publicly surrendering, even though, of course, Iran pointed out that his peace deal was fake, Donald Trump could have a prolonged, his war, stop today, doesn't matter, it's not gonna, but if it did, there's still a prolonged effect on the cost of travel because of his disruptions to global energy supply chains. That is what Donald Trump has done. And so yes, I think anyone traveling right now, seeing the average cost of a plane ticket explode, seeing 2-hour lines at the airport, all the while ICE is going and ripping people out of line, and I guess maybe potential kidnappers are ripping people out of airports, I don't think anyone's gonna be happy. And that's reflected in the polling, showing just how unpopular Donald Trump is on all issues, but specifically the cost of living, which he is exploding.
Voters on Trump and the cost of living. You go back when he was reelected back in October of 2024, he was beating Kamala Harris by 3 points on the cost of living, right? Look at his net approval rating now. Woo! Down underwater we go. His net approval at a record low, 41 points below water. You can't win when you're at 41 points below water on the cost of living. Kamala Harris couldn't win. The Democratic Party couldn't win. And I'm here to tell you that there's a better chance that I root for the New York Yankees than Donald Trump and the Republican Party winning when he's 41 points below water.
This was March 12th and March 16th. We could see even more, gas prices rise and prices go up in the coming days and weeks with the Iran war. So this number could get even worse. What about independence?
Yeah, what about independence? You think this 41 points below water is bad? Take a look at independence. It's even worse. I mean, 60 points underwater when it comes to Trump and the cost of living among independents. Again, a record low. You go back to October of 2024. He was winning on this issue over Kamala Harris by 11 points. Look at that switcheroo. That is a 71-point switcheroo in the wrong direction for Donald Trump when we're coming to the cost of living and independence. And this, my dear friends, is just a political nightmare waiting to happen for the Republican Party come the midterm elections.
I mean, why? Do people really care about the cost of living?
Yes, they do, Mr. Berman. They do care about the cost of living. Why was Donald Trump reelected back in 2024? It was the cost of living. It was the number one issue, okay? Number one issue, top election issue, cost of living. 38% of Americans said it was so back in October of 2024. Look now, it's the same percentage. If anything, it's a point higher, though it's within the margin of error. 39%. Simply put, I am saying this loud and proud. You cannot win an election when you are the incumbent party and the top issue is the cost of living, and you're the president of the United States, and your net approval rating on it is 41 points underwater. I mean, you're with Greg Louganis at this point.
I would say that things are probably going, well, not good. They're not good at all. I'd say that they're terrible. Things are they're so bad. It's quite frankly, it's never been worse than this. It's so much bad that you don't even know how much bad. That is Donald Trump's presidency, and it is the reason why Democrats should not bail him out right now. This is Donald Trump's fault. Republicans are in charge. If they're going to blame Democrats, then you might as well hand over your majorities, and soon they will.